Wholesale Farm Store? Then Preziken and Gem Wholesale Farm Store in Gil St. Mary, Jamaica is the place for you. Unbeatable rock bottom prices are guaranteed right in the heart of Gil St. Mary, Jamaica. Visit them for all your farm supplies, baby chickens, Hyprofeed, Nutrimix feed, First and fertilizer, seeds, and many more. Preziken and Gem Wholesale Farm Store provides free delivery. Conditions apply. Visit them in Gale St. Mary, Jamaica, and call them at 876-410-3639 or 876-865-2084. Preziken and Gem Wholesale Farm Store with unbeatable prices. Tell them say Mrs. So. Call them now, 876-410-3639 or 876-865-2084 for all your farming needs. Preziken and Gem, the farm store with everything.
Welcome back. We just want to apologize for that breaking in transmission. We have some little technical problem here that has resulted in the breaking of the feed. Want to apologize for that. But we want to continue. Then I want to thank you all for coming back. You know, I told you that's how the enemy works. He's never going to stop until he gets everything locked down. Right? That is how he works. And that's why we have to pray. I told you, you have to pray for this ministry. We come under some heavy attacks. Some persons might be saying, well, you know what? I don't think that they have any problem there with demons and devils and with problem. Oh yeah, we do. We got all kind of problem, and most of this problem occurs while we are doing a live broadcast or before we do a live broadcast. You would be here. We set everything. Everything is fine and good to go. And the moment we start playing and singing, something just went for no known reason. But I understand what that is. It's called spiritual warfare, my friend. It means that we are touching lives across the world, and the enemy is just mad at that, and he does not want that to happen. All right? Doesn't want that to happen. So I was making the point that we really can't see or perceive, and any of those things that we talk about in Christianity, they are there, and we really struggle with a lack of faith. And as a result of this lack of perception, our lives often do not reflect the fact that we really believe that we can claim or what we claim to believe. So then, there are many reasons, right, for this phenomenon among Christians. Many, many reasons. And the main reason that we struggle with faith is that we don't truly know the God in whom we profess to have faith in. We don't truly know God. How can we truly know God? Well, you definitely can't know God by just going to church. Hello? You can't know God because some people think that well, I'm a member of this church, so I'm a Christian. That does not make you a Christian. Maybe one of these days we need to talk about some of those hard hitting points as to what really constitutes and makes a person a Christian. You can be water baptized and you're still on your way to hell. You can go to church every single Sunday, don't miss no Bible study, no prayer meeting, no service, and you are still on your way to hell. Why? Because there are some due diligence. There are some important things that must constitute the believer's life. And going to church is not one of them. Being a member, you know how much people on their way to hell right now and have no idea that they're on their way to hell? The main reason we struggle with faith is that we don't know God. And to know God requires us to read the Bible. Okay. If you go out and you meet somebody, and it doesn't matter how long, you could spend 1 year in a room with that person. And if you never have a conversation with that person, you don't exchange word, you don't tell them your name, they don't tell you theirs, you don't know where they live, they don't know where you live, There's absolutely no connection taking place between you and that person. Can you really claim that you know that person? There's a school of thought that says when you meet somebody, you don't really know them unless you ask them their name. That's the time that you actually know the person. When you ask them their name. So let me ask you, do you know God? And if you know God, what is it that you use to validate that claim that you really know God? In our daily lives, my friend, we don't trust completely in God. We don't trust completely. As a matter of fact, how many of you just go out there and trust a stranger? You'll never do that. Are you going to leave your child with a stranger? Are you going to give a stranger your wallet? Are you going to give a stranger your bag? Are you going to let a stranger into your house and say, stay here until I come? Are you going to do that? No, you're not going to do that. In real life, we don't do that. And the more intimately that we know someone, and the more time that we have had to see him or her in action, let me tell you something, the more likely we are to believe what the person says. But if God is essentially a stranger to us like he is to many Christians, oh my God, it's hard to say that, but it's true. God is a stranger to other Christians. I don't know how people deal with that thought, but it is a reality. God is a stranger to a lot of people. We are less likely to believe what he has said in his word because we're a stranger to him. We have never experienced God. We have never had fellowship with God. We don't have union with God. Our minds are filled with images from Hollywood, and there are many of us who walk on the street at night. We're afraid. Why are we afraid? Because instead of our minds being filled with the word of God, the promises of God, the trust in God, our minds are filled with scary images from watching movies and from listening to stories and from hearing people talking all kind of nonsense. Yes, my friend, we are less likely to believe what he says in his word if we do not trust in him. And you know, the only cure for this is to spend more time in God's words, getting to know him. That is the only cure. I don't know of any other thing that we can do. The world, the flesh, and the devil often distract us by the world, right? Now, the world is meant the accepted, let me say, okay, so by the world is meant the accepted wisdom of the unbelieving world and the culture in which we find ourselves or in which we live. For those of us living, let's say, for instance, we are broadcasting all over the world, right? We are in the north, we are in the south, we are in the east, we are in the west, we're pretty much all over the world. So for those of us who are living in Europe and also in North America, that dominant worldview is naturalism. Naturalism, materialism, skepticism, and atheism, right? Now, the flesh refers to our sinful nature. I did a teaching on the sinful nature, or I did a study on the nature of man, where we talk about the nature of Christ and the nature of the flesh, right? Now, the flesh refers to our sinful nature that still clings to Christian, and with which we really struggle on a daily basis. There are many of us who struggle. If you were in our Bible study on Wednesday, you would have heard us talk about some of the struggle that some Christians really go through. It is a reality that Christians really do go through a lot of struggles. And the devil refers to Satan, as we all know, and is horde of evil spirits, right? Is horde of evil spirit who excites and entice us through the world and our senses. Yeah? These things all affect us and cause us to struggle in our faith. And that's one of the reasons why you and I have to make sure that we are absolutely careful what we're putting in, what we see, what we taste, what we feel, what we understand, because all of those come together and contribute to what we believe. That is why Christians need to be constantly reminded of what Christ has done for us and what our response should be. Many persons don't think that they have any further response beyond baptism. Right? They really don't think they have any further response beyond baptism. So they get baptized and that's it. You don't see them back in church. They don't support the work of the church. They don't witness to anybody. They don't pray for anybody. They don't love nobody. They don't think about anybody. It's all done, they think, once they get up out of the pool. Now, the Apostle Paul says that faith comes from hearing, and hearing through the word of Christ. According to Romans chapter 9. No, Romans chapter 10. Yeah, Romans chapter 10. Verse 6, 7. Yeah, so Romans chapter 10. Our faith is built up as we have the gospel continually preached to us. So tell me now, how is it that a person who claims to be a Christian, how is it that that person's faith will be built up when that person is not constantly being fed with the word? That's how faith is. So now you understand why we have a bunch of people in church and a bunch of faithless people who constantly engaging in worldly pleasure, who constantly disbelieving what God says, disobeying God's law, don't care about God. And some of them are so blatant because they are so oblivious to the reality of God's existence and their responsibility that some of them even blaspheme and they don't even know it. They blaspheme and they don't even know it because they don't know what is blasphemous. Blasphemous speech and blasphemous action, and they don't know what that is. Our churches need to be built on a solid preaching of the word. Can I say that again? Our churches need to be built on a solid preaching of the word and regular observation of the ordinances. Lord Jesus, I feel something coming on. Too many churches are just about programs, and God is sick and tired of our programs. Oh, Monday this, Tuesday this, Wednesday this, Thursday this, Friday this, Saturday this, Sunday this, and we keep repeating that year after year. At the end of the year, we have what is called an annual retreat, and all we do is look on how we can continue to do all the nonsense that we're doing. Yes, I said that, and I make no apologies. What about the church being built on the solid preaching? And when we get the theoretical aspect, we find means and ways of allowing the church to be adaptive to its practical application of the text. So we pause. Nothing is wrong if pastor says, look, you know what? This morning, no praise and worship. No preaching. We are going to talk about some practical thing that is affecting the church. Oh, Jesus, our people will be so disappointed. But pastors have to have that eagle's eyes to see that the church is just feeding on pure milk and not the word. Or they are just making a mess of things. Instead, too many churches spend their time and energy and resources, on the recreation of programs that neither feed the sheep nor draw a clear distinction between godliness and ungodliness. And so people just roam in sin. One of the most offensive things to people who are not living, when you come and you talk about sin. People don't want to hear you talk about sin. And that's why some churches are packed with people. Why? They don't preach sin at those churches. Any church where the word is solid and where there is no room for sin, no room for sin, what you'll find is just a little cluster of people. And even though you might have 50 people on the church's register, you only find a little cluster. Those who really want to stay. The rest of them just keep walking around telling people nonsense, but they are a member of this church and this person is my pastor and I do this. No, you're not. You are a loose cannon. You're a loose cannon. Consider the examples of the Israelites in the Old Testament. God had performed great miracles in rescuing his chosen people from slavery from Egypt. And the 10 plagues and the pillars of smoke and fire and the crossing of the Red Sea. And God brings his people to the foot of the mount, the foot of, what's that mount called again? I think it's Mount Sinai. Bring the people to the foot of Mount Sinai. Gives them the law and makes a covenant with them. Don't think about all of this, I know I'm kind of like encapsulating it, but it's a whole lot that I'm saying here. No sooner does he do this than the people begin to grumble, and them start to lose faith, and them start to complain with Moses gone up on the mountain, and the people convince Aaron. And Aaron was I think Aaron was Moses' brother. They convinced Moses, sorry, not Abraham. They convinced Aaron to construct an idol against God's clear prohibition for them to worship. You can read the story, Exodus chapter 32. You can read the story there. They were no longer walking by faith, but they were walking by sight. We have a lot of believers. Oh, no. We have a lot of churchgoers who are walking by sight. They lie, they steal, they commit fornication, they speak all kind of evil. They are not supportive of the programs of their local church for the church to grow. They don't tithe, they don't give no offering, they don't pray for nobody, they don't counsel with nobody, they have never witnessed to anybody. That person is not a Christian. And I make no apologies about that. Whether you're in the United States, you're in Africa, you're in Canada, you're in Europe, wherever you are, I'm saying, if you are not actively engaging in the work of Jesus Christ, walking by faith, living and trusting God, you are not a Christian. I make no apologies. You're not a Christian. You see, they were not walking by faith, but they were walking by sight, despite all the clear miracles that God did in their redemption. Isn't it the same thing we're experiencing now? People come and then bow before God. Oh, God, help me. Jesus, if you just help me. And God bless them. And God take them. God take them across their Red Sea. God take them out of their slavery. God guide their step by day, guide their step by night, provide food for them. And the moment things get okay, guess what? Them gone back to Satan. And they're living and they don't want nobody to say anything about it. Oh, just leave me alone. You know what? I'm not even going to come to those church people. And they walk and they make rumors and they tell all kind of lies about the church and the pastor and all kind of things. Despite all the clear miracles that God did in their redemption, they lost faith and begun to go on their perceptions. May I ask you this morning, are you living on your perception this morning? You see, that is why God instructed the new generation of Israel before going into the promised land to continually remind themselves of what God had done for them. And we saw David in all his writing keep referring to what God has done. Every time David came across a new challenge, what he did, he remembered, God, you did this. God, you did this. Because you did this. What about you? God healed your body, hasn't he? He paid your bill, hasn't he? Of course he did. He took you out of a hurtful marriage. He restored your marriage. You were sick. Your child was sick. You were broke. You was without a job. God has done all of that. And then yet you go through one little problem and you're ready to backslide. You're ready to backslide. Oh, God is not concerned about me. You see, my friend, I want to say to you, in Deuteronomy, you can read Deuteronomy chapter 6. Deuteronomy, very powerful, very, very powerful. As a matter of fact, every time that I christen baby here, that is a passage that I read. Where when we look on two verses in particular, verses 6 and verses 7, the Word of God says, and these words that I commanded you today shall be in your heart. Where must it be? Not in the Bible. Not in the church on a piece of paper. It must be in here, in the heart. And what was God's instruction? To avoid people, or to avoid a complete abolition of God's truth in his generation. God says, you shall teach them to your children. And I like the word, and I noticed in the English Standard Version, in the King James Version, there is a repetition of this word. Suggests to me that there's something that is very profound about this word, where it says, teach them diligently to your children. God demands us to teach them diligently. And shall talk of them when you sit down in your houses, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you get up in the morning. Talk about it. God knows that the spirit is willing, but the flesh is one big weak fellow and wants to do its own thing. And if allowed to do its own thing, it will. I think it was in Mark Gospel, chapter 14, where it is recorded, Jesus says, watch and pray that you may not enter into temptation. And Jesus said it again there in Mark Gospel, chapter 14 and verse 38. Jesus says, the spirit indeed is willing. How many of us sitting at home and we have a willing spirit? Oh, I want to go to church. How many times have you told your pastor lie? Pastor, I'm coming to church. You've been doing that for 5 months, 6 months, and you don't come. How many times have your pastor contacted you about a particular ministry that the Lord laid on his heart to convey to you because you're not listening to God? You're not listening. And the Lord has spoken to you about a particular ministry over and over. He has equipped you, but you're not listening. So God talked to your pastor, tell your pastor to tell you, look, I'm calling you into this area, and you keep lying. Oh yes, lying. The Bible says the spirit indeed is willing, but that old weak old flesh continue to rebel against God. And so he commands his people to be in constant remembrance of these things. In other words, don't forget it. Oh Jesus, I can't believe the time already. It's 7:14. Gotta wrap this up. All right, let's wrap this up. Now here is my conclusion. We need to hide our let's not hide that. Let's hold on with the hiding part of the word. Before you can hide it, you need to heed the example of the disciples, particularly Thomas. When Thomas heard the story of the resurrection, it was last night we're talking about it. Interesting, huh? Last night we're talking about the disciples' characteristics. They all have their different character, and that displays so clearly in the scriptures to study the life of the disciples. But Thomas, everybody know that Thomas is known to be the doubtful one, right? When Thomas heard the stories of the resurrection, he wouldn't believe. He wouldn't believe them until he saw Jesus with his own eyes. Now, Jesus accommodated Thomas's lack of faith by making an arrangement, right? Or let me say, make an appearance then, because Thomas wanted to see him. Thomas wanted to touch him. Thomas wanted all of that. So Jesus make an accommodation, and make an appearance to him and allow him to see and touch him. Thomas' response was one of worship. And Jesus says to him, you have believed because you have seen me. But Jesus said something very important. Jesus says, blessed are those who have not seen, yet have believed. Many skeptics today continue to echo Thomas's sentiment. Unless I see Jesus face to face, I will not believe. Let me tell you something. We must not behave as the unbelievers do. We need to continually keep in mind Paul's exhortation, which is absolutely important to us, to walk by faith rather than by sight. You see, we learn in the book of Hebrews or Hebrews, that faith is the verse. What verse? Let's go to verse 6. Let's move from verse 1. I've already quoted verse 1. Let's move to verse 6. That faith, it is impossible. Without faith, rather, verse 6 says, it is impossible to please God. It is impossible to please God without faith. So if you claim to be a believer and you're constantly engaging in faithless things, you are not pleasing to God. So does your coming to church is by faith? Is your praying by faith? Is your walking by faith? Is your talking by faith? Is your action by faith? Is what you're asking God for is by faith? Because faith is believing the word of God and acting upon it, you know. That's simply what it is. Listen. It is not responding to our perception. And we have a lot of perceptions. We want to believe things to be so, and it has to be so. And we like to say, there's something over me. Yeah, that something might be the devil. Get it off. Get into the word and hear what the word says. Get that something off of you that's telling you that this is so and that is so. Make sure that you can clearly say, the Spirit of the Lord. You remember what Jesus said as he stood in the temple? Jesus did not say something come upon me. He declared exactly what was on him. Jesus said, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me and has anointed me. Now, can you speak with that absolute certainty that the Spirit of the Lord is upon you and has anointed you, and the words that you speak, your action that you're taking, the way that you're living, what you're doing, it is being done by faith? Can you look somebody in the eye and say to them, listen, I am doing this, and I know with absolute certainty that God will be with me. When you move out by faith, I guarantee you there will be, as there must be, completion in what you're doing. I don't know nobody who ever step out by faith and have failure. And listen, I'm an example of that, you know. I'm one of those little fruit. I'm not a big one, just a little one. I'm still bearing some faithful fruit of the evidence and the power of God working in my life. I step out all the time. My wife will say to me, how is this all going to done? My favorite line is, God will provide. Let me tell you something, church. Did I say church? Yes, word. Let me tell you something. I trust God with every fiber of my being. Listen, I'm so crazy. I will sit in my vehicle and I will relax like this and I will wait on God to come through. Why? Because I know with absolute certainty that he's going to come. I know. I have more confidence in God coming to me at a particular time than one of my brother who called me and tell me that them coming. Them they must come. And I will just move because I don't believe that they must come. But when it comes on to God coming to me, I believe with all my heart. And listen, I will sit here all day. I'll wait in the rain, in the sun. I will just wait because I am totally and completely convinced that God is coming. When you get to that place in your Christian walk, I'm telling you, that walk is not by sight. That walk is by faith. Are you one of those this morning who are experiencing a lack of faith in the Lord? Are you one of those persons who are constantly dragging your feet with your salvation? Why? Because you are experiencing a complete lack of faith. Why don't you start the process of application? That is, whatever you says, why don't you believe what God, connect what you says with God's words and not your words, God's words. It's now 21 minutes after 7. 9 minutes to go before the show closes. But I believe that I'm talking to some people out there who are listening to me who have had their faith encounter. The line is open for the Zoom. Come on in. The link is on the screen. Come on in. Even to share one little thing with a few people. And let them know that, Rev, I know what you're talking about, man. I have been there too. I have experienced that faith. I have experienced that faith. We're going to go for a break. When we come back, we're going to talk some more about that faith. Please, don't go nowhere. Stay right where you are. The Zoom link is open. maybe what you can do is to use the opportunity for the break and come right in. Come on in.
The alternative, speaking the truth from the Word of God, bringing hope and God's love to this generation to inspire and empower for such a time as this. I am your host, Pastor Shania Bennett.
And can be heard on DCM Radio FM this and every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Tune in and be blessed.
Do we know what we're eating? Important information about unhealthy foods doesn't always get to us, and this can lead to wrong choices.
1 in 2 Jamaicans is either overweight or obese. Obesity increases the risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, 13 types of cancer, and even death.
We need full information on food labels. We have the right to know what we're eating. What's in our food? Give us the facts.
Me no afraid to shout it out loud. Won't let you go, not at all. Nah, let you go. No, me not gonna let you go. Won't let you go. I want the world to know you are for me, for me, for me, for me, for me, for me.
Yes, my friend. Can you speak like that? That God, Fio in Jamaica, or Jamaican dialect, for me mean God is mine, right? He's mine. We say God of Fimi, all right? Good morning to all of you. Want to thank God so much for your company. It's now 7:27. I noticed nobody comes in on the Zoom. Nobody wants to talk this morning. That's all right. That's okay. Good morning to you, Sister Marsh. Good morning. Good morning. That's Sister Lorraine Marsh. Good morning to you. May God continue to bless and keep you. Nobody is in on the Zoom, right? No, nobody is in. Okay, I understand. You don't feel like talking. You just want to listen this morning. Not a problem. Not a problem. You know, it's always nice to see somebody coming in on the Zoom, you know, just to say, hey, Rev, you know, what you're saying is so, but that's all right. I understand that. Good morning to my dear friend. I was introduced to a brother, Newton K. Marty. I hope I could pronounce his name properly. That's Maritim, right? Bishop Newton Maritim. We're going to be meeting, I'll meet him one day. Certainly, Pastor Emma will arrange that. But I'm really so happy to be able to meet with him. Well, just want to remind you that coming up today in the afternoon, at 2 today, no, at 1, I believe we have a broadcast. Let me see what that is going to be. I want to tell you what the schedule is going to be like for today. So, persons want to know what the schedule is going to be like. Well, today at 1, between 1 and 2:30, there will be a special broadcast from eCoin, and that will be here. And right after that, at 3 p.m., all right, at 3 p.m. will be the broadcast for Pastor Makalia Prakash. Now, I'm telling you, that's one broadcast, my friend, you don't want to miss. At 3 p.m., all right, 3 p.m., Pastor Prakash and his wife, Maria, would be doing a teaching. That is going to be something. I really don't want to miss that myself, coming from India. And we are praying that the transmission and everything will not be interrupted, and that we'll be able to go through with that broadcast. Because I've never heard a preacher from India who was brought up into an Hindu culture, being converted, and then to present the gospel. I want to hear their interpretation. I want to hear. I want to get some little theological stuff, their hermeneutical skill, their hermeneutics, and I want to hear all of those. Their everything, okay, everything. I want to hear it. So at 3 p.m. today, please tune in on DCM TV and also on DCM Radio for the first of its kind broadcast from India. First of its kind. You don't want to miss that, all right? So please make every effort to be there and to watch that broadcast. Coming up at 3 and at 1, between the hours of 1 and 2:30, there'll be a special live broadcast from, is it Trinidad, I think, from Trinidad, all right? I told you that DCM Radio and TV is really going wide, you know, and you're going to be seeing a lot more. How many of you tuned into the broadcast yesterday with Pastor Denzel Greaves? Yes, for the first time, Pastor Denzel Greaves, and his program will be coming on every Thursday at 8:30. Every Thursday at 8:30. If there's a shift, then you will be duly notified. But that's the lineup, and there are many other church and countries that are coming online, and we're looking forward to see what God is going to do with all of those. All right. Well, the time is now 7:31, and it is time for me to make my exit out of here. But let me say, before I go, let me look on the social media pages to see if there is anyone that is online. Let me see what's going on here. Is there anyone? Well, I see Sister Lorraine Marsh. She says, good morning, everyone. Well, good morning to you. And I see Bishop Newton Maritim out of Nairobi, Kenya, I believe. I would be corrected if I'm incorrect, but I think he's from Nairobi, Kenya. I want to say good morning to you, Bishop. Thank you so much, sir. We are honored to be in your presence, and we thank God for you. And we are very appreciative that you could join us here on DCM TV. Thank you so much. All right. Now, for all the persons who are celebrating birthday today, I want to say happy birthday to you. May God continue to bless you. Just continue to enjoy yourself, right? And do something nice for you today, all right? And remember also, while you're doing something nice for yourself, also do something nice for somebody else, okay? That is all. I make my exit out of here today. It's time for me to go. Want to thank all of you for tuning in and for being a part of this broadcast. Really appreciate you, and I give God thanks for you all the time. All right, all the time. You know, we give God thanks for you. So, I want you to join me Sunday, at 10, where we'll be having our special service, a special service for children on Thursday. Now, also, Pastor Emma, big up yourself, man. Morning to you, and may God continue to bless and keep you. I'm looking forward to meet Bishop Newton very soon. I'm really looking forward to meet him. I just have a love to meet the people of God from all over the world, you know, to kind of interact with the dynamics that God has placed within them. I really look forward for that. And so I'm looking forward to meeting my beloved Bishop pretty soon. I know Pastor Emma will make that happen. All right? So this is how we say goodbye for this morning. I really want to thank you for being here, and thank you for your support, and thank you for your prayers. Whenever you pray that God will continue to bless this ministry so we can continue to broadcast and to reach the people in the world. All right? I am Reverend Fitzroy Williams, and this is a morning meditation segment here on the DCM TV and DCM Radio Mondays through to Friday from 6 a.m. until 7:30 a.m. Until we meet again, may God continue to bless you. Please remember to tune in today from 1 until 2:30 for this live broadcast from Trinidad. And then at 3 p.m., we will have the broadcast from India. Now, their time is rather different, so we have to work with that time. So we have to come way in that time, all right? May God continue to bless you. Looking forward to see you in church on Sunday. Until we meet again, take care. Bye-bye.
All right. God. Great is thy mercies and your unfailing love. The heavens praise your wondrous works. You have the key to my heart. There's no changing that. 'Cause I surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all of the days. In your dwelling place I will be still. Won't let you go. I won't let you go. No, no, no. Not let you go. No, me not gonna let you go no way.
To God be the glory, great things He hath this morning. I want to bring anniversary greeting to DCM. This is your girl Auntie Bev, your one and only Auntie Bev. Yes, man, you've been hearing about Auntie Bev. Here I am, driving on the toll to work, but I have to give my little 2 cents, right?
One thing, God guaranteed us that He'll be in the midst of us. See, that there are some of you, my brothers and sisters, there are some of you that are listening to me right now.
Let's find a way to bring them back with a lot of love so that we don't lose them completely. Because chances of losing them completely.
Congratulations. Well, you guys deserve a whole lot better than my singing. 1 year of ministry. We give God thanks for the work that you've been doing down there. We pray that the Lord will continue to use DCM Radio, spreading of the gospel to the entire nation and to the world at large. Blessings from Guysville Gospel Chapel to you. May the Lord continue to use you in many more years to come.
I am Afia Mganda, watching simply from Kenya. Shalom.
My name is Leon Thomas, Mayor of Portmore. I want to congratulate DCM Radio on celebrating their first anniversary. This is a radio station that I tune into all the time.
have behind me a group who have all been to Jamaica on work teams. And we want to just take a moment to praise Pastor Fitzroy Williams for the work he's done and to congratulate for the 1 year on radio. We are so proud of you. We are so thankful for you. This congregation prays for you, tries to support you in every way we can. And what a blessing it is to have you be my brother.
Happy first year anniversary to Pastor Fitzroy Williams and the DCM broadcast. My prayer is that you have many more years together. I have enjoyed listening to you. Congratulations on your first year anniversary.
This problem, guys, this is what it's about right now. See, because I said last night, what's that cookie and gingerbread guy gonna do? And I figured, and there was something more to all this. We gotta go back to the book of Genesis, man.
Joyful and triumphant, oh come ye, oh come to Bethlehem.
My name is Pamela Manyonge, watching DCM TV from Kenya.
DCM TV and radio. This is Jackie Olwamba. Happy anniversary. Watching you from Kenya. Blessings.
DCM radio. You are now celebrating 1 year of service. You have been such a blessing to us all over the world. So I'm just here to say congratulations to you, and I hope that you do many, many, many more service. Thank you. Bye.
cross over, and they are happy to see you today. They are waiting for you on 31st. They told me they would love to see you on DCM Radio, and I know they are happy. Maybe they can just, I may not solve the issue, but I can pray because
it means that you should not proceed in praying over concern, our new concern, our other concern.
time to appreciate you, Reverend Fitzroy, and your wife, Pastor Sophie. You have been such a cushion to lean on.
Hi, I'm Lauren Hayes, CEO of Hayes Enterprise Limited and City Boss for Hayes City. Hayes City, the one-stop shopping center, is the most robust retail outlet in Jamaica for over 50 years. Haypet is our complete petrol and service station with all your spare parts, rims, tires for bikes, cars and trucks. At Hayes City, we boast a large and complete hardware department from cement, steel, lumber, electrical, plumbing, tiles, doors, bathroom and household fixtures. Our farm store department has all your animal feeds, fertilizer, household and farming chemicals and all other farming supplies. At Hayes City Wholesale Supermarket, we have all your food, beverages, household, haberdashery and cosmetic requirements at both wholesale and retail prices and is equipped with an internet cafe and stationery supplies. We boast a reliable money remittance through Western Union and an ATM machine to satisfy all your money transactions and bill payments. Our lounge, the Skybox Lounge, is equipped with pool tables, ice hockey and all your gaming needs in a relaxing and cool atmosphere. Contact us at 994-318829, fax 994-3914 or just email us at ihaylord@yahoo.com. Hayes City, the one-stop shopping center.
Now open for business, L&W Reliable Services, Tavern Hill, Guys Hill, St. Catherine, right beside the Gospel Hall Church. Come to us for your birth, death and marriage certificates, preparation of visa applications, typing and photocopying services, scan and email of documents. We also provide passport services, booking for airline tickets and an internet cafe for your research and general internet surfing needs. Call us at 876-994-3989. 876-364-1680 or 876-820-2940. You can also email us at landwreliableservices@gmail.com. We're open Mondays to Fridays 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. L&W Reliable Services, expertise you can trust, services you can depend on.
Hi and good day. Look at the damage that texting has done to your neck. The smartphone. All the hours multiplied by days, weeks, and years that you spend in a forward looking down position. That becomes a very serious problem to our neck and our upper shoulder region. It's not only you, but what about your children, your family, your loved ones? Look at the hours that they spend in that forward head position, multiplied by all those long hours, and imagine what kind of damage it's doing to their spine. Look at the burden of staring at your smartphone. 12 pounds is the normal weight of the head. 15 degrees looking forward, 27 pounds of weight your head is. 30 degrees, 40 pounds, 45 degrees, 49 pounds, and 60 degrees. 60 pounds of stress. The back of those muscles, ligaments, and tendons are trying to hold up the weight of that head. Research shows that the average person is spending 2 to 4 hours with their head in a drop-down position. That's 700 to 1,400 hours of excessive stress you're putting on the neck and the cervical spine. The forward head posture leads to neck pain, pain over the head behind the eyes, headaches, pain into the arm, tingling, numbness, pain between the shoulder blades, pain into the chest region, bulging discs, herniated discs, spondylosis, arthritis, osteoarthritis, degenerative joint disease, and many, many more problems. It's hard to imagine the amount of stress that the muscles and ligaments behind our neck are holding up, trying to withstand the weight of your head going against gravity. Imagine just holding up a bowling ball that weighs 8 pounds, holding it up in front of you like this. Imagine after seconds how much pain and discomfort your shoulder is going to feel. Early ages of 20, 25, and 30 show significant degeneration, osteoarthritis, extra calcium in the joint, and wear and tear that's going on because of the excessive weakness and instability. The discs in the neck area become more compressed, causing the intervertebral foramen, the holes where the nerves come out of, to become more irritated and inflamed, causing pain and dysfunction. Significant amount of early advanced degenerative changes, osteoarthritis, all this extra calcium being laid in the joints because of this instability. Quite common, the deformation of the anterior forward head posture, how the body compensates as a result of this instability, something that you might have to learn to live with the rest of your life. Pronated shoulders, the shoulders rounding forward due to the anterior stress against gravity, as the body starts to change because of this improper posture. Quite common with excessive headaches pulling behind the skull as a result of these muscles that are shortening. Because you're hunched forward, the pronation, the internal rotation of the shoulders, limits the ability for you to inspire the full amount of oxygen because your lungs are not fully operable. The forward head posture is causing excessive stretching of the ligaments behind the neck and shoulders. Those ligaments are becoming stretched like a rubber band, therefore not allowing the body to have proper support and stability. It's unrealistic that people will stop using their cell phones. So you need to make a change. If your head is in a forward position, you need to bring the head upwards with your shoulders in line with your ears. You need to bring the phone up to your eyes. You need to tuck the chin in if you're going to spend a lot of time looking down. So you must learn to take breaks. Prolonged use of these muscles, being over-fatigued by the weight of the head, will cause this significant rapid degeneration. If you're looking down prolonged periods of time, the muscles are stretching, the muscles are fatiguing, the muscles will spasm, and you will have pain and dysfunction. Take time to stretch the neck. Pull the head over to one side. Pull it over to the other side. Stretch those muscles that are tight. You need to strengthen those core muscles. A weak core will not allow the upper body to stand up and sit up straight. This all has an effect on the muscles of the neck and shoulders. There's a normal cervical lordotic curve in the neck. By keeping your head in that forward position, you eventually will lose that normal curve of the neck, causing more instability on the joints and the nerves. Commonly seen, a military neck or a kyphotic neck is very common with text neck. The nerves that are coming out between the bones of the spine and the cervical or neck region are becoming inflamed and irritated. These nerves affect all cells of the body. The damage that's being caused in your lower neck, that little hump that you're experiencing, that swelling, that discomfort, that pain. When the alignment is off on your automobile, the tires wear out quicker. It's no different when our head is tilted down forward. It's going to lead to herniated discs and disc degeneration. So good posture is not only about standing tall, it's allowing all the organs, tissues, and glands in your body to work at its maximum potential. So be aware of your posture when you're holding your phone. And most important, be aware of your posture when you sit, stand, and even walk. Make it a great day. I'm Dr. Alan Mandel.
internationally.
And we tune into DCM Radio, DCM TV, all the way from Canada. Keep watching.
Keep listening. Woohoo!
The most beautiful corn cobs in the United States. I asked him, "What is your secret to producing such great quality corn cobs?" He said, "My secret is simple. It is because I share the best seeds with my neighbors." What do you mean? How do you have the courage to share the best seeds with your neighbors if they also take part in this competition? Then he said, "It's because the wind always spreads corn pollen, and the wind pollinates the fields to make the seeds grow. If my neighbors have low-quality corn, the wind will blow their pollen, and my corn will worsen. So, for my corn to be good, I have to take care that my neighbors also have good corn." This is wonderful. This is a secret for life. We will only be able to experience the best if the people around us also receive the best. Often people insist on seeing happiness in a selfish way. They want to be happy, but they don't care about the happiness of those around them. They don't even care about the well-being of their children, their wives, their friends. They look at their friends at work as competitors and try by all means to stand out from the rest, at any cost, even harming those around them. They don't realize when they do that, they will always reap less than they were supposed to. When the wind of life blows, it will always blow poorer in the lives of those who are selfish. We're living in a time when everyone is divided, thinking only about themselves. But I would like to extend a wish to you. May you share the best seeds with those around you. Because the Word of God says, "How good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity." When we live in unity, everything becomes more pleasant. Everything becomes lighter. May you be able to share your best so that you may see everything in your life gaining a new level of quality, well-being, joy, and fullness because of this generosity. May you also share this with the people you love and whose lives you want to enrich when you choose to share the best that you have.